off so that I won't have to harass you during the session, yeah? Two things there. If those who have not downloaded your workbooks, please do so. The link is given here in the chat. Please download your workbooks to be guided during the session. If you have questions, please keep them towards the end where Mav will take all your questions. Try not to flood the chat with your questions yet, this in case we don't catch it and we are unable to address it during the session. So there'll be a time where Mav will ask for questions, and please put in therefore. All right. Anything else I missed, Mav?
No, all good.
All right, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Candy. And I think I'll take this opportunity to thank everyone for coming on the Thursday evening. Normally, if the cinema is open, one show is going to get previewed this Thursday. But you know what? I missed the cinema. I think the last movie I watched was Ip Man 4. Still a good movie, but it just showed that how long I haven't been to the cinema. So yeah, so I just want to thank Candy as well, the team. Dr. James is somewhere in the room as well. You can PM me privately. And then also the team for helping to bring together. We didn't expect so many people to come because initially we just budget like maybe 50 people and without much ads as well because we did this quite last minute. So the purpose is simple. So today we're going to talk about crisis copywriting framework. It's a framework that I've used actually for the past 17 years. So whenever it doesn't have to be economic crisis, of course now a lot of people are saying that there's going to be one soon. But anytime when your marketing message is not working, this is a framework that you can use. So we use this with our clients. We use this within ourselves, within our company as well. So just a few permissions to start with. So I thought I may talk a bit fast. If I'm talking too fast, you just chat there, slow down, or take a pill or something. And I like the sessions to be as interactive as possible. So like I say, if I tell a joke, you just open your mouth and laugh. And, the sound doesn't have to come out, it's fine. If I ask a question, you can just leave in the chat, yes or no. Any interesting stuff that you manage to pick up, you can just write it down. There will be sections along the way where you can share your learnings as well, because I think that the more we share, the more we get. And then it's 90 minutes. So right now I'm trying to time it to finish at about 9:45, about 10, a few minutes before 10. So the idea is just and then we leave the time for Q&A. So any questions you have, you can put it in, type a Q dash, and then just put in the question. I have Candy and the team to help me filter the questions as well, because I want to make sure that I can answer the questions, but we'll keep it towards the end. And also, like I said, the content is simple. It's to help you enhance your marketing message. Three things that we want to help you achieve. One is to build better brand during this lockdown period, generate more leads, and if you are in for it, close more sales. And because this is just 90 minutes, if you want to know more, at the end of it, I'll show you where you can get more information as well. If everyone is good, can we go? Just type go or just type yes, and then we are all ready to go. Or just give me a thumbs up, or I don't know, high five. Sorry, you can't do a high five. You can do a clap. Yes, Clinton, let's go. Awesome. Good. Okay, so many of you may not know that I used to be a Buddhist monk. I used to be a Buddhist monk for the past 3 years. Okay, when I was 14, 15, and 16. So what happened at that time was that one of my master would actually tell me the more information you have, it's just going to overload. So that's why sharing is the only way you can remember. As a matter of fact, when you teach something, you can actually remember it a lot better. So along the way, if you look at your workbook, there's one blank page where we put there ideas, insights, and inspiration. Okay, so that's where you can write down any what we call pearl of wisdom. Not prisoner of war. So those of you who watch too much war movies, no, I'm not talking about POW. Although we do feel like the lockdown, it feels like a prisoner as well. But pearls of wisdom, anything that's interesting that you think that you can act on right after this webinar, you just put that POW. And I want you to share. So just share in the chat anything that you found out that's interesting. Because when someone else share and you're like, hey, actually I didn't get that. And then that's how you basically learn as a community, which is very important. Okay, so some of you have actually seen a video that I published, but for those who haven't, I'm just going to do a very quick one over here. So what happened is that at the beginning of the year, I think a lot of us, we basically have plans to conquer the world. I started planning to end the decade really good. Some of you want to start the decade, but I need to let you know the decade start in 2021. The decade ends in 2020. So this is a good year for you to wrap up a good decade, not to start a new decade. Make sure you get your dates right. So at January, we set our plans, and most of the time we basically have a good plan. So the purpose of having a good plan is so that we want to see some form of growth. Every year we want to improve ourselves, right? And then when we look at this growth, we actually have hope. So that's where momentum comes in. So it's a concept that I want you to, basically get familiarized as well. Whenever you are on a roll, you get momentum. So whenever you launch a new product and it's easy, it's because you have a momentum, you have the systems, everything's going your way. So if you look at this, so who started this year with big plans? If you start with a big plan, just leave a comment over there, BIG. Don't think about now first, just think about a few months ago. When you started this year, if you started with big, okay, some with capital BIG, some more, okay. Yes, that's the whole idea. Personally, okay, frankly, your personal goals is up to you, whether you want to lose weight or do something. But I think most of us, when it comes to business, we have that goal to go abroad, to build a brand, all that. And then usually when you have momentum, it's like a train. It's like a train, almost unstoppable force, and then hit something, bang. So March, something hit us in the form of COVID-19. So when it started, I was in Taiwan when it all started in December. I assure you, I'm not a super carrier. So it started in Taiwan. We were like, tak apa lah, this thing will pass lah, relax lah, chill lah. But I think when end of February, when the government actually announced lockdown, I think for the first 2 weeks, some of us are having fun. We are like, hey, honeymoon lah, time for a break and stuff like this. We never had this kind of experience before. But I think when the PM decided to extend for 2 weeks, some of you starting to feel, holy shit, it's getting real. And then when it's extended again, most people actually start getting fear again. Because like in Australia, if I'm not mistaken, the lockdown is actually for 6 months. Yeah, which is kind of scary, right? Yeah. So basically what's going to happen here is that March 2020 was a definite moment for most of us because that's when your original plan got cut short. And some of us, we still continue with our plan. We still continue our plan under a different scenario. Because you operated your plan in a different scenario, basically your growth will go down. You will lose momentum already because whatever you plan for is different. The behavior of the market is different. Fulfillment, all that is very different as well. And then suddenly you lost the hope and then you start to have the pain. So when you look at, when sales are gone, when leads are not coming in, when you can't fulfill your sales, that's where the pain actually start coming in. So now we are entering May. It's the last week of April. We're entering May. Hey, wait, it's actually tomorrow. Tomorrow is May. And we will just future pace for another 3 more months. So that will actually be in August. Interestingly, you won't feel as much pain as it anymore. You will be overwhelmed by another emotion called fear. Because when you start looking forward, it's like, man, if I don't do something, shit's going to happen. So every day when we look at the newspaper, more and more big brands are actually closed. I just heard that G Tower Hotel is actually going to be closed today after 17 years of operation. That's scary. So then you realize that, oh God, I think my plan is a bad plan. Doesn't work anymore. So here today, tonight, one of the main purposes is that I want to show you whether you can create a new plan. So whatever you plan to do in January, I want to see whether you can kind of do a recovery over here. So for this new plan, the idea is simple. If you can do the change of trajectory, your plan basically can go up again. So the growth will actually go up and you will renew your hope. So this is not just something that a nice graph, you will say, hey, Maverick is a very nice graph. But the idea is that this is totally possible. It helped in our company. It helped with our clients as well. Basically, you just need to shift your marketing message. The truth is that technology is still working. People can still buy. So which is if people can still buy, you can still transact. By right, you can still do business. It's just whether your message is sexy enough for this kind of time. So I just like to take this moment as we start to kind of look at this thing here called pain. So I think on the Facebook Messenger, we already asked you like what are the current pains that you have. A lot of you already given good information, but I do have a poll over here. So I actually have a poll over here, which I'm going to launch now. So generally, when we look at the results, there are actually 4 kinds of pain. So is anonymous. What you can do is that you can just fill in, which one you resonate the most with. Is it low or no sale? So that's something that you're paying for. You got sale, but you are running low on resources because the supplies cannot come in. You are running low on resources. Then some of you got sale, but I cannot fulfill during the breakdown. So cannot fulfill means that you got people booking or your dentist, for example, booking for appointments, they cannot go. So because they can't go to your place, they want to cut hair, but they can't. Or sometimes it could be due to lack of manpower, which is you don't have enough resources. So as the numbers come in, I'm going to leave this poll over here. But if anything that you think is specific, certain pains that you want me to kind of have a look at throughout the next 90 minutes, you can also leave it in the chat as well. So I actually have a piece of note over here, which I've kept. Some of the things that you all mentioned during the Facebook chat. Okay, wow. So majority, I can say you can see a trend over here. Majority is heading towards low or no sales. Okay, so but for those who are low and no sales, if you have an issue with fulfillment, okay, I'm going to be frank with you. If you have issue with fulfillment, like you are a dentist or esthetician, where the customer cannot come to you or you cannot come to the customer, it's going to be a bit difficult. Because no matter how sexy you can make your product is, no matter how much I can help you to make your product sexy, you have restrictions that you have to respect. So there are laws that we need to fulfill. So if you cannot fulfill, we can have another conversation on this. But I hope those of you who are having low or no sale is because you do recognize that your business can jalan. You can continue transaction, but customers are just not buying. Yeah. Melinda, if you're neither of the choices, you can just type it over there. Then it could be something that we can look at. Okay, I'm just going to leave this poll running. I'm going to show you a little interesting picture. So this is the Titanic. Okay, picture taken from Reader's Digest, something I grew up with. So two things you can do in the concept of if the ship is sinking, if your business is sinking, it's like a Titanic. A lot of times people will be like, they will hold on to it. We have clients who have built their business for 20 over years and they're like, hey, Maverick, we cannot just abandon ship. We have like putting our savings. People die building this business. But the truth is that it doesn't change the fact that the ship is sinking. So two choices I can give it to you. You can either stay on the sinking ship, you can stay on the sinking Titanic, or you can go to a shaky life raft, which is not sinking. Okay, it's not as comfortable, it's not as glorious, it's not as luxurious as the Titanic, but the good thing is that it's actually not sinking. So what you can do is that you can make a choice right now. If you want to just stay with your sinking Titanic, you can type T over there. But if you want to go to the life raft, you type L. And those of you who type T, we will try our best to help you. But most of us, we are kind of looking at the L side. You can't challenge nature. Okay, luckily all of you actually pick L, which is good. I was actually quite concerned if you all pick T, because I need to shift the whole night's conversation if too many of you pick T. Some of you put I. Okay, yes, it's L. Okay, so you can leave the, thank you for replying the comments. Super appreciate it as well. It's just showing that at least I'm not just talking to a camera. Okay, so a bit background about me. I'll make this really quick. So 17 plus years in B2B marketing. So basically I've gone through the financial, the 2008 one. And in terms of marketing, I grew up in newspapers. So when I go through all the Zoom faces, I see some young faces there. So for the young people in the crowd, if you don't know what's a newspaper, it's what was used to tapao your nasi lemak usually. So usually you open and you read the newspaper. Oh, actually the PM said this. So that's what, that's a newspaper. We used to do that a lot. And then trade shows and then fax machine. Again, last year was a glorious year for me because after 9 years of not receiving any faxes, I finally decided to cancel my fax line. So those of you who have received a fax before, you can just type F, but be careful. That was just going to reveal how old you are. So F, fax basically works for previously. Dell was using fax very well at that time to basically send over flyers. But guess what? It doesn't even work anymore. So for those young people, again, I'm sorry, old people are talking over here. So a fax machine is basically a printer attached to a phone line. And then when I tell that to kids, they're like, what's a phone line now? I'm like, wow. In the last 10 years itself, imagine so many things have changed. Like the iPad was created in 2008. Now we already iPad Pro. Iron Man 1 came out in 2008. Last year, we just finished Endgame. That's 23 Marvel movies. So if you think about it, in the last 10 years itself, a lot of things have changed. So yes, newspaper may or may not work anymore. Fax already doesn't work. So from there, I move on to email, mobile, LinkedIn, and basically webinars, which is what I'm doing right now. So industries I work on, I see some of you have been in those industries like HR, software, education, FMCG. So if you look at the trend over here, I tend to work well with companies where their sales cycle is 2 weeks or beyond, which means that if you meet a prospect today, they will take about 2 weeks to decide or longer. So you need to nurture the leads and stuff like this. Okay, so areas that I'm good at, consulting strategies. Basically, I take anything that is boring and make it sexy. So in the background over there, you will see a picture of Mind Valley. It was an event, a series of events that I held over there last time. I was one of the co-founders of a project under Mind Valley. Who here has actually been to Mind Valley or the Hall of Awesomeness before? You can just type yes. So I'll know if any of you have actually seen me at Kickstart before. Yes. Okay. Then I'll know how long we have known each other as well. So for 3 years, we did Kickstart. First event we had 20 people. It was pathetic because I came from a background of running 2,000 people events. 20 was pathetic. I gave up. But thanks to a friend who encouraged me, the next month I did it again. We did it again as a group. There was 90 people. Okay, improvement. The third month we had 200. And ongoing every month, we have anywhere between 200 to 600 old people registered for our monthly events. From 20 people, 3 years later, it has grown to 4,000 over members. But here's the thing that actually a lot of people didn't know. We actually spent less than 500 ringgit building Kickstart. And it's not 500 ringgit a month, and it's not 500 ringgit a year. It's 500 ringgit across 3 years. We were doing guerrilla marketing like crazy. Whatever marketing stuff that I learned over the past 17 years, I basically put it in. So when people look at what we have done with just 500 ringgit, and if you ask me, we made some dumb mistakes as well, like we printed name cards and a couple of buntings, which is totally irrelevant if I think about it right now. So we could have shaved a lot more. But the reason why we can do build such international brand with just 500 ringgit, the reason is simple, because there's a framework. So there's a framework that I've been using when the times are good, when the times are bad, and he has repeatedly shown results. So yeah, that's basically about me. So let's look at this over here on basically how to basically prioritize your focus. So a lot of times when people talk about wanting to go online or basically want to improve their copywriting or want to basically improve their marketing, like in general, the first thing they actually look at is technology. I can safely tell you your focus is a bit off if you're always looking at technologies. People are always asking me, hey, what apps to do, what apps to use. I think the proper question is actually something else. Other than technology, so some smarter people, they'll say that, hey, Maverick, is there a creative way to reach my customer? Okay, that's a smarter question, because technology, you can always replace it, but creativity is a bit harder. And then some of the smarter ones actually realize that, creativity is not enough. You actually need something else. And that's where strategy comes in. But if you ask me, one thing that has remained consistent over the last, let's just say 5,000 over years, is psychology. If you understand psychology, you can market to your customers regardless of the times, whether it's up and down. What motivated us 500 years ago and what motivated us 1,500 years ago, the emotions are the same. But the way we express it is different. Last time, you will show off the gold. Our ancestors, will show off gold, will show off land and stuff like this. But nowadays, you show off your phone, you show off your iPad. So the emotions are still the same. You want people to recognize you, to give you the recognition that you want. But how you express it is different. So the strategy is, if you understand psychology, the rest will actually fall into place. So that's the secret behind the framework. So I'm actually revealing the secret quite early as well. But if you notice, there's actually a missing link over here. So if you stay until the end, I will basically tell you what's the last piece that will complete this puzzle over here. If you have psychology, you have strategy, you have creativity and technology, you are quite okay. But with that last piece, that's the one that will give you a quantum leap. Okay, so remember the pearl of wisdom that we talked about earlier. If you have learned anything interesting in the last 20 minutes that we have started talking, you can just write it down, something that's interesting. Perhaps it could be something that you should be focusing on, not just technology, but focusing on creativity or strategy.
Mav, quick
Yeah.
check. Your screen has a squiggle.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Let me see.
If it's on, is it your screen or something else? You need to
It could be
delete
my
it.
iPad. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, while you put in your... That's really odd.
Unless someone else anointed the screen.
Oh, could be that, right? Just a moment. Oh, someone drew something. Wait.
Okay, guys, whoever, turn off your pens.
Okay, you know what? You should just put your phone, your phone number there. At least for the next 90 minutes, you actually get some airtime. Okay, so sorry about that. Let me just put the slides back. And for the person who draw on the screen, we will drop you an invoice later. Okay, so this is the framework that actually I've used for my clients. So anytime when they say, hey, Maverick, I got a problem now with my marketing. Okay, when it comes to business strategy, usually I will send the big guns, which is Dato' James, a guy that has built 80 over businesses over the span of his life. And he stopped counting at 80. And I think we are the 84th together with Authority Institute. And he has gone through 5 economic crises. So if you look through the chat, if you can find him, have a chat with him. He's a totally great guy, one of the most generous person I've ever met. And a lot of things I learned testing marketing principles, I tested with him because he has seriously have gone through 5 financial crises, all the up and down. So basically the framework that I tested actually came from his experience as well. And also basically my own experience of building brands. So this is actually in your worksheet. If you flip to page 2, I think. So there's a crisis copywriting framework. So some of you have printed it and then you're like, oh, Maverick printed, gave me this paper. I better not use it. You know what? You can print again. The idea with this piece over here is so that you can actually make notes. And this piece of paper would be a guiding checklist for you. The next time when you want to launch a copywriting, any copywriting or marketing message, you take back this paper and you check. So there are 4 key questions over there, which we're going to cover today. And then there are a few areas that you need to look at. I will let you know what are the areas you need to focus as well, because you can even go back your existing marketing messages that didn't work. You take out this piece of paper and you check. If all the parts are green, by right, your marketing message should work. Most of the time it doesn't work is when either the 4 key questions, you get a no answer, or the focus area that you're supposed to focus on is not there. So use this piece over here. You can print it. You can use it with your team as well. After this session, you can basically use this and teach it back to your team so that they can actually make a reference before they do even a simple social media post. During these times of crisis, they have to check off the right boxes. So it's actually this piece over here, which is in page 2. Look, we give you the PDF. You can print as many as you want. So these are the areas that we'll go through. Okay. So let's start at the middle first. So if you notice in the middle, there's actually one triangle over here. So when the crisis hits, can I just ask how many of you, this is actually the first time you have gone through a financial crisis? Just type 1 over here. Those of you who have been through twice, you type 2, 3. If you want to beat Dato' James as a game, you can put 5 or 6. I don't know whether there's so many financial crises out there. Yeah. So first time, second time, third time. But you do notice in the past, certain things are different, but certain things remain the same. There are actually a few things that the moment the world is in crisis, there are only a few emotions that they fall into. And one of it is actually fear. So when the lockdown was extended again and when business are being forced to shut down, most business owners, I guarantee you, they will actually feel the fear, even for a split second before they start, okay, let me do something about it. So I started this year with a client booking 82 days of my training. So for most, and this is just one client. So for most trainers in the room, they will know that 82 out of 365 days is like the whole year, your basic salary, kautim already lah. So when the lockdown happened, I only managed to execute 2 days. I have 80 days that are like suspended, vaporized into mid-air. So I felt the fear as well for a couple of hours, but thankfully with people like Candy and James, and after napping for a while, wake up, you just got to do something. So one thing that you need to start moving from is from fear. You need to move to focus. from fear, the emotion of fear, move to focus, because fear is endless. To be frank, a lot of fear is also unwarranted as well. Just shift it to the area of focus. So if you have within your team, someone, the marketing person or even the admin staff, they are saying that, hey boss, I'm like, I don't know what to do, like, fearful and stuff like this. Get them to focus. The moment they focus, the emotions will be gone. So one thing I learned when I was a monk. So as a Buddhist monk, we always talk about the middle, focus on the present. No matter what things is happening around, you just calm yourself down. Some of you meditate. If those of you who meditate, can you just put M? Those meditators over here, when you meditate, you're just supposed to focus on the present. And when you focus on the present, the truth is you don't feel emotion. So even if Candy come and slap me, which I deserve totally, I feel the pain. I may feel angry. I will feel like, why are you hitting me? But the moment I focus on the present, I will actually realize that the pain is gone. Because whatever emotions that she did when she hit me, it was a millisecond ago. In the present, there is actually no emotion. But in the present, one thing you can have is actually focus. So whenever you have a team or business partner, they're like, hey, how la, xiao la, this PM, I don't know what it's doing, a close business that very fun like this. When they are going onto a frantic mode, just calm them down and ask them, okay, what are 1, 2, or 3 things you can do right now? They will just be frantic, but just ask them, okay, what are 1, 2, 3? The moment you get them to focus, they will be able to stop feeling the fear. So that's first thing for you. And for you to stop feeling the fear, one thing you have to stop doing is consumption. So if you notice your Facebook, WhatsApp group la, your Facebook group la, your Facebook timeline la, there's just tons and tons of negative news. So instead of working on the mode of consumption, you move to an area of creation. So you need to create messages. Either you create video, you write an article, but whether you like it or not, the moment you focus, you can create. And now is the best time to create, because while everyone is, broadcasting fake news or whatever, or untested news, you could be the one that shine. Because always remember, in times of crisis, great leaders are born. So I used to work with Dr. John Maxwell when I started early. So people always ask him, hey, Dr. John Maxwell, when are great leaders born? And he will always joke, no leaders are born, only babies are born. Leaders are made. So that was a joke. Anyway, so what he was saying that, but if you want to see when the greatest leaders come about, is always in a time of crisis. Whenever, if you think about it, whenever times are peaceful, you actually forgot who's the leader. So I think if you count through the prime minister, right, there's always one guy that you actually forget to count, interestingly, right? But I won't mention his name over here. You will remember the big ones. But whenever there are times of crisis, either the person caused the crisis or not, you will always remember the leader that stood up. So now in the market that's full of crisis, it's actually your chance. It's actually your chance to actually stand up. So the 2 things for you to focus on in the inner triangle over here, the first thing is focus. The second is creation. So focus and creation, just do, if you have a green pen, just write it over there. That's the area that you should be focused on. And then that's eternal. That's something that you need to get your mindset right. Instead of consumption, you need to start creating. And then externally, when it comes to marketing, there are 3 areas that you need to work on. 1, you need to be able to attract, not just attract strangers or prospect, but how do you attract your existing customers? Because if you keep quiet, they will think that your business shut up already or closed down already, right? So you must be able to attract their attention. Second, how do you build the relationship? How do you befriend them? And the last part is totally possible. How do you convert the sale? How do you basically still get your prospects to buy even in these times of crisis? So all good so far? If all good, you can just put G, good, or just put like a thumbs up so I can see over here. Awesome. You know what's one of the worst fear that I have doing this kind of webinars? That I can talk for 2 hours only to realize my microphone is not on. So that would be embarrassing. But luckily Candy is there and James is there to make sure. Okay. Or some of you will be like, okay. So now if we zoom out. So just now we talk about what is eternal, what are the emotions and what are the shifts you need to make. Now we look at the marketing, the external parts, the marketing messages you need to make. So let's look at attract first under A. So if you look at attract on social media, there will be a lot of postings like this, or sometimes there's nothing. So when the MCO lockdown happened or when the COVID-19 thing happened, some companies froze. They decided to freeze. If you look at your ads on your Facebook timeline, I think you will recognize some of them because maybe 60 days ago, you see a lot of their ads. And then suddenly now when you go to your Facebook timeline, you don't see them anymore. One of them is properties. So you start seeing a lot lesser property ads. Telcos were quiet in the beginning as well. And a couple of others, hotels all actually went down. So they immediately just stopped communicating, which is actually very bad. So the good thing that you need to focus on to shift instead of being quiet, is to move over to the other end, which is making strategic recommendations. So I'll give you examples on this one. So the shift you need to make is that instead of having a timeout, I just wait lah. I just wait this whole thing over and then everything will be fine lah. So you can do a timeout, or you can create information that is timely. So you create offers that are timely. Okay, let me give you a few case studies over here. So one of the reasons why I always credit my success to is because in the beginning years of my life, I have tremendous mentors. I have great coaches. And one of them is actually this guy over here, Dave Rogers. At the height of his career, during the economic crisis of 1997, he personally handled an investment portfolio of $1 billion. So imagine the sweat that no longer the head anymore. The sweat basically comes from everywhere in the body. A serial entrepreneur, a really good friend, met him in 2003 when I just started. So the guy in the middle is Jiki, my multimedia magician, know him since age 7. And then there's basically me. And in case you're wondering, that t-shirt, yes, I print it myself and it's no longer for sale anymore. But that was basically how I tracked attention last time. So what Dave taught me at that time was that because he's a master networker and he's always a great deal maker. And one thing he basically tell me is that sometimes as a person, we always invest in the relationship. We invest in the relationship with our spouses. We invest with our clients. We invest in our staff. But during times of crisis, you need to have a way to give back. Okay, giving back is not about giving back. Giving back is basically, can you withdraw from the bank that you have been saving in? So imagine you have a relationship bank and you've been putting money in, but you never withdraw before. The bank is not going to like you because mainly they want you to take out more money, right? But the truth is that when it comes to your network, you must be able to withdraw from it. So if you think about it, around February or March, when the lockdown happened, you'll see a lot lesser advertisements, especially from the airlines, because with the whole nation or the whole world being locked down, why would they want to do advertisements or any sales, right? Until one company came around on the 29th of February, if you can remember, and it's this red color company that all of us are very familiar with. Okay, how many of you went to buy this 499 pass? Just type 499 over there. How many of you were queuing up to buy this 499? I know some friends were like, Monday, 12 o'clock, they're like refreshing. Don't need to go and eat lunch. The COVID-19 not important. I need to get this 499 ticket. So a lot of them, even siblings are fighting over this 499 thing. Yeah, so yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, so yes, Jewel, you're the smart one, because if you look at the TNC, there were a lot of things that you cannot do in it. So, but a lot of people buy. And I don't know how much AirAsia made from this particular, I wouldn't say stunt. It's a very good move. So when they did it, they actually raised funds and it padded them for a couple of weeks or months. We'll see how it goes. But the truth is that now you cannot travel anyway, right? So technically you are living on a time bomb. Okay, I won't say a time bomb, but basically you buy something for 12 months and then suddenly you only have 10 months left only. But you know what goes through people's mind? People think that, wait, December, sure the lockdown over lah. I just go to Japan one trip, boom, worth it already. Japan one shot, the cheapest you can get is like 800 over ringgit. So that's what people would think, you see. So that's actually a good thing. But after that, a few companies try to do it, and then the customers start getting smart. As a matter of fact, sometimes, so what AirAsia did is that they withdraw from their network. So all the things that they've given value for their clients and all that, for the customers, they say, hey, thanks for being our customers for so many years. This is like a private sale only for big members. As you know, the situation is not good, but would you want to buy this unlimited pass first upfront so you can travel after the lockdown? And because you trust the brand and because you've been using AirAsia, then you actually invested. So they actually withdraw from the network and they ask for a favor. But not all the time it happens very well. Because if you remember a month ago, Jeff Bezos from Amazon tried to do the same thing. So he did this, but the backlash was crazy. What he was doing was that he was actually asking the people, hey, you donate money lah and stuff like this. And people like, WTF, you're like the richest man on the planet and you're asking for donation. So a lot of people were like, and his rationale is that I'm not helping my employee, I'm helping the contract employees. But you see, to the customers, they don't care. It's like, hey, you're so rich already, you cannot, because this was done after Mark Zuckerberg gave out 10 million in donation, if I'm not mistaken. So Mark gave out 10 mil without asking anything in return. When Jeff gave the donation, he said, hey, you guys, if I can give so much, you also give lah. Well, that was epic backlash. So sometimes withdrawal, it may not work as well in this particular case. So the messaging was actually wrong. But luckily, in Malaysia, I'm very proud, someone actually did it right. So if you remember, this was on the same day, actually, interestingly, 24th of March and 34th of March as well. My Burger Lab got featured in Malay Mail. They got okay, those of you who have been supporting My Burger Lab, just type MBL over there. So we know there's a fan. I think Renyi is somewhere in the room as well. So one thing that Renyi, Wicked, I've known them since they started, right? They've always been a company that is very community-centric. And they always, the messages that they post on social media, you can tell the difference. They are not one big conglomerate company. They are basically like a small burger joint that you want to support all the time. And also, they were actually helping out the senior citizens during that time as well with mobility, with the restricted mobility. So yesterday, I don't know whether you all saw this because it was a very quick post, but Renyi, one of the co-founders of My Burger Lab, posted this. He did not post it on the Facebook page because he don't want to, it's not a business thing. He want to make it a personal thing. And he's saying that, hey guys, as you know, the situation is not good. So if you invest 50 ringgit right now with me, and so I basically give you some credits lah. If you use it between May and July, you get 55 ringgit. So your 50 ringgit now become 55. And then in August to October, you get 60. If you keep all the way until April, it's 70. But I think I want to keep it until May next year and see whether he's going to give me extra stuff. Maybe he can swap for shares, right? I don't know. So he posted this for a very short period. He actually gotten 370 comments and 460 shares. And bear in mind, this is not an advertisement. It was done on his personal Facebook page. So he was actually going to his own network and asking for help. A lot of F&B people have asked for help, which we will support, but he asked in a different way because you look at it, it's like, okay lah, like a big investment, right? If I put 50 ringgit here and then 1 year later, I can get extra portobello fries, man, or whatever lah. Okay, so and after posted it, you can no longer go to the link. The post is still there because in a very short period, I think in less than 24 hours, he has raised 50,000 ringgit. So those of you who are in F&B, you know 50,000 is a lot. It can basically pay off a lot of things. It can give you the cushion. But of course, people can still cash in, you see. But the truth is that he did it elegantly. And why? Because he has been supporting the community, the social work and stuff like this. So sometimes in whatever business that you're in, I trust if you're still in business, you have invested in relationships before. Sometimes all we need to do is that if you go to this place over here, one of the key questions, the first one you should write down is, how can I break the silence and withdraw from my most profitable markets? Those customers that you have been investing on, those prospects, how can you do a withdrawal? How can you ask for help? And how can you give them something of value as well? And believe it or not, you will think that this is ridiculous, but I think you have actually done this before. Have you actually gone to support a friend's business, even though that friend charges 10 or 20% more, and you're like, "Aya, never mind, a friend I will support." Have you ever got a plumber or electrician? If the plumber electrician cannot come and fix your house, you're like, I don't want anybody else. I rather the roof leaking until the whole house flood. I want to wait for the uncle to come back and fix it because of relationship. So what I'm actually, it's not about ego or all that, but you basically can go to your existing network and ask them, hey, I'll be honest, just like everybody else, times are really hard. But I have this thing of value over here. And it's not asking for charity. I'm giving you something. I'm just asking you to use it 1 or 2 months later, and I'm giving you a discount for it or anything will work. So this is the first key you need to do. Existingly, you could have enough network right now, gold mines, for example, that you're not tapping into. Just need to ask for help lah. So that's one. Oh, hi, Derek. Haven't seen you for many years. Okay, last year I did meet you. Okay, so what you can do right now is that we have covered one tip over there. Share what is one of your pearl of wisdom that you have gotten so far. Like Robert, you're saying that, hey, it's like a cash voucher. Yes, it's a cash voucher that grows actually, because you buy the voucher today, it will grow to another amount. What is something that you learn from those examples as well? No worries, Nicholas, the diagram will actually come back. The longer the duration, the higher the value. Yes. Yes, drawing from relationships. I think, Alif, you got the message right over here. Sometimes, and you're not asking for charity. Mind you, you're not asking for charity. You're just asking for support in advance. And because you have been treating your clients well, you've been treating your customers well, they will actually support you. So yes, pay it forward. Thanks, money. Perceived value. Thanks, Terence. The next time you're here, I'll bring you to MBL as well, if you can cross the border. Okay, so that was one thing we heard of, was the airline. When the airline and the hospitality industry, when they first got locked down, the first thing they did was that they quiet and they panic. They panic in silent regression, which is bad. So another area that a lot of people decided to keep quiet on was investment gurus. Okay, before that, you will see a lot of advertisement, right? Hey, come and I teach you how to invest lah, come lah, buy this property lah. You see, I buy 50 over property with other people's money lah. And then the moment the lockdown started, all quiet, don't know go where. So that has actually created a space. So very proud that two of our clients, one of them is Mr. Money, Peter Yong. So he basically crafted this message. He basically said that he went into history and he realized that many millionaires are created during recession than when the times are good. So, and this is basically the webinar that he did, similar to what we are doing right now. And you know what? He published his first webinar. It was sold out in 3 hours. So he come to me, hey, Maverick, how? I said, well, you just set another date lah. Okay, he set another date and within 3 hours, that one sold out as well. So it shows that whatever that he is sharing, if you customize it to the current time, if you make it timely, it will work. And this is not just one. So another one of our client, Yishin, he's only 26 this year. So we basically helped him drafted the copywriting a bit. So if you look at this, it's Thriving Through Crisis Investment Webinar. So that's basically the title of the webinar. If you look at the 3 things at the bottom, avoid frustrating mistakes, build reliable wealth, capture missed opportunities. So they are actually talking about there are opportunities even during a recession. So during recession, sometimes people will say, wow, toilet paper very cheap, I'll go and buy. But nobody will go and buy houses when they are cheap. So now it's actually a good time to buy property, to be frank. So if you look at the whole copywriting that Peter and Yishen did, it's all about timely, currently. They are not talking about investing in the future or what. It's what are the investment opportunities that you can tap on today during the times of crisis. So this is an example that you can have. So what they have actually done is that this is the second key question that you can fill in. How can I break the silence and make timely, relevant, and very important, it must be empathetic. Empathetic offers to my most profitable markets. Why empathetic? Initially, when the lockdown first started, I saw some aestheticians, very funny. They decided to say, hey, we got discount, you come to our clinic, and after that, we can make your face look pretty and stuff like this. Hey, how people want to go lah? So those ads, they cannot trash left, right, center because they were doing something that was untimely. But one of our clients decided, hey, you know what? Let's do a home facial party. They pack all the kids and all that because wives at home gonna stress from the husband, gonna stress from the kids. Quite interesting, right? The kids are normally very cute, but the moment you lock down with them after a certain hours or period, no longer very cute anymore. And then you look at your husband or your wife, you're like, can't really have married this person now. Yeah, especially the wife will say that to the husband now. So when she's stressed, all the stretch marks will come out. So what our client, Mr. Tay from Salmons, basically start packing the stuff and shipping over. And over Facebook Live, all the housewife and all the aunties and all the mistress, sorry, not the mistress, but all the ladies will come together and start doing their facial at the same time, like a party. So that's how it makes it relevant. The first example was, you come to my shop, I make your face look pretty. Hey, how to go to your shop lah? And people will start saying, hey, you're just trying to make money, being an opportunist only. But in the second scenario, because it's timely and relevant, and it's also empathetic, because Salmons or Mr. Tay, he actually knows that all the moms at home, they have no access to facial. So by packing it, it becomes more relevant. So that's another thing for you to look at as well. Okay, so now that's basically attract. So you know that you cannot keep quiet. You basically need to start opening your mouth, but say things that are strategic and and relevant. So that's the first thing that you need to get right on your copywriting. If the ad that that was successful 2 months ago, there's a high chance it won't work now because the world literally shifted in March. Whatever messages that have worked for you for 3 years, now it's not going to work anymore. You have to shift that. So that's the first thing. And then now we look at befriend. How do you build the relationship? So some businesses where they fail is that they decided to do fear mongering. They say that, if you don't do this now, I think the next few months you will suffer. If you don't do this now, after, your kids will suffer. So how do you move from being a fear monger? Sharing fake news is also a fear mongering as well, to become a trusted advisor. Because remember, just like I mentioned, in times of crisis, when everywhere is dark, okay, I don't know whether you have been into a jungle before, but just type J if you have been in the jungle before at night. You will know that it's pitch dark. We have got some friends from Singapore, especially the guys who have done national service before. One of the regime is you need to go to the jungle at night. It's really dark. Like you can literally put out your hand and you can't see it. So I'm from Kota Baru. So I guess, grew up in the jungle in a way, but no kidding, at night, it's really scary. So in the dark jungle, even when someone light up a very small match, you can see it. Even the light is it's not even a freaking lightsaber, just a very small match you can see from afar, you will straight away go already until you go to a haunted house. Okay, that's besides the point. But anytime when you see even a small light, people will go. So that's the part where you can become a trusted advisor. So you need to start giving advice that is strategic. So here's the thing. I think some of you, I know you meant well. Since the start of the lockdown, you have been learning. Like you've been learning, going to webinars after webinars. Some people say, wow, this lockdown, I read 50 books already. Frankly, books don't always guarantee success, because if reading books can become successful, the librarian will be the richest person on the planet already. So it's not just about learning, it's about application. So a lot of fear mongers, they like to say, hey, you need to learn this, you need to learn this, you need to master this and stuff. It's because the economy is going to be bad, you need to master this. But truth be told, if you want to be successful in this time, your copywriting must shift to tactics. And what are the quick wins? What are the practical tips you can tell people right now? Like, I don't want you to tell me how to light the matchstick. I want you to light it for me now. Will the matchstick be enough for me to go through the jungle? No. But if you can help me 3, 7, or 10 steps, I'll be happy already. So during crisis, we become short-sighted. Our eyesight become very short-sighted. So we can't see something that's very far. So teaching or learning is always investing in your future. Tactics is right now. I'm very painful right now. You need to give me something to heal the pain, even though it's temporary. So that is tactic. So what do I mean by this? Okay, I'm going to show you a bad example, but please don't go and Google this person. I blanco up the name already, but I know some of you very pandai to Google. Don't go and trash this person, or don't go and say, well, Maverick, talk about your event page, Bright page, please don't do that. We'll just use this as a case study. So if you look at the title of this event, it's actually live. I just took it yesterday. The title is Sales Management Audit. Discover problems and provide the solutions. Like, seriously, during this time, I mean, obviously everyone knows there's a freaking problem, but this is the title. No need to discover problems. I can tell you what's the problem already. And then secondly, these are the things that this person have done before. Nothing about crisis management, nothing about leadership through tough times. It's just all this again. Okay, tak apa, now maybe he forgotten. So go further down. The course content, the topics, none of it has anything to do with managing crisis or leading people through tough times. Nothing. It's all sales competency, training and retraining of the sales force, really, at this current period. And then if you look up, right, there's something that's even more interesting. I look at the location. It's actually at this place over here. I don't know where Excel College is. Technically, we are still under a lockdown, right? But I thought maybe this is for a future event. So when I click on the date, I realized that, this guy is so optimistic to realize that on May the 7th, more than 20 people can actually come together and congregate over there and not get caught. So yesterday the government just allowed 2% to go out. But now, look, think about it. Okay, you may look at it as a joke, but if you think about it seriously, this message is totally irrelevant. He's basically asking you to learn this, but there's no promise for a solution of the pain that you're feeling right now. So there are a lot of business owners out there that you're in the room right now. Would you go for this training? If you go for this training, okay, if you won't go for this training, you type no. Because if I say type yes, nobody will actually dare to put up the hand, right? Yes, nobody will go, or somebody say hell no some more. Hallelujah. So yeah. Okay, but how can trainers create relevancy in this time of crisis? So this is Wesley. Wesley is also a client for a long time and then a friend as well. So he is also a sales trainer. But so we work together to create this. So you see the first thing that he got right, turning crisis into opportunities. It's still a sales training, but a sales training that is targeted at turning crisis into opportunities. Second part that he got right, a free online webinar, obviously it's online, to discover sales conversion strategies that will work really well during times of crisis. So what he's essentially saying is that there are 74 other sales strategies out there, but during times of crisis, you can only use this 9, for example, and he's going to show you what are the 9. And then after that, there's a video that he recorded. And again, even in the copy, do you want to be absolutely clear and certain on what sales activities you need to do? Because those of you who manage a sales team, they all grabber. They're like frantic. Hey, boss, I don't know what to do the next 30 days. Okay, what are the clear and certain things you need to do? How do you multiply your conversion rate and emerge as a leader? Because everyone is keeping quiet, how do you emerge? And then how do you stand out as authority during times of crisis? Again, and this part, I thought sealed the deal. We know the COVID-19 situation is forcing businesses across industries to close prematurely, and we don't want you to suffer the same outcome. Again, it shows empathy. So this one itself, when you look at it, it's like, okay, I don't know who's this Wesley guy, but okay, I think what he's saying is that at least it touches my heart a bit. I'm going to give him 1 hour of my time to listen to his webinar. At least this one will actually work. So if you look at this, right, what Wesley has done, I'm not going to mention the other trainer's name. The other trainer was obviously teaching. I'm teaching you so that in future, whenever you've got a sales problem, you can manage it. It doesn't work right now. Everyone becomes short-sighted. But what Wesley did is he actually focused on the tactics. So the key question that Wesley asked is, how can I give quick wins to my most profitable markets? What are the quick wins? What are the things that, okay, your client could be bleeding. I know you cannot bring the client to a hospital, but can you do a simple Band-Aid first? Okay, a simple Band-Aid will be more than enough because they don't, yes, is it the best solution? No. Going to the hospital is better, right? But you can't get to the hospital. You need to give them the Band-Aid over here. So that is a quick win for them. Quick win is not long-term win. Quick win means that something you can do immediately. What are the tactics that you can give to your clients right now that is immediate? So focus on it. So the 2 areas to focus on, let me just circle it for you as well. One is trusted advisor. Another one is tactic. Instead of becoming a fear monger, become a trusted advisor. Instead of teaching, hey, I teach you this, I teach you this. Frankly, during times of crisis, you should only be learning 20% of the time. You should be implementing 80% of the time. That's the difference. Why? It's because you are lucky. During times of crisis, okay, sometimes in normal times, when things are okay, when we all can go out and hold hands and all that, when we test a marketing strategy, sometimes it takes 3, 6 months or a year for you to see results because there's gestation period, right? But you know the lucky thing about being in a crisis, everything is compressed, which means that if you do something wrong, you can see the result immediately, you can cut and then you can basically change. If you're doing something right, you can see the result the fastest as well. So take my word for it. I basically can put my balls on the table and basically go on this bet with you. If you mark today's, let's just say today is May. By September next year, September 2021, you will realize suddenly there is a surplus of millionaires. If you look at their history, they started something in these 3 months. This recession will create more millionaires than ever before for a very simple thing, technology. Because of technology, it accelerates everything. So mark my words, September the 1st, you can't, hey Maverick, how come no millionaires one? Then I would have lost. I'll put my balls on the table, you do whatever you want to do with it. But I have a very strong bet studying economics and history. 1st of September, even before that, you will suddenly realize that, wow, this guy used to be nobody, he suddenly become a millionaire. So mark my words, something that you do today can actually create millionaires. So let's take a quick pause right here. What is something that you have actually written down as a POW? Robert, I don't know, sign me up for what? Okay. Yes. What is some pearl of wisdom that you've actually written down? You realize that, hey, man, never thought about it. Or some shift that you can do. Offer tactics. Yes, correct. Yes, money become a millionaire, still the same. Actually, the correct thing to say money is become a millionaire faster. Yeah, now it's all about speed, right? Yes, Alif, 80% implementation, 20% learning. Yes, your learning time is over. You have already learned a lot. Now is the time for you to test what you have actually learned. Focus on quick wins, invest and withdraw. Yes, good, Vinci, thank you. Okay, so these are some, continue commenting, because then also I know what are the stuff I say that actually makes sense, right? Yes, quick wins, awesome. Okay, so we are done with the befriend part. So always remember, focus on tactics. Now let's talk about the question that all of you were asking earlier. How to get sales? How do you get sales in these times of crisis? Because customers are not spending. Are you sure? Are you sure customers are not spending? Because I remember when the lockdown was let's not talk about Malaysia. We talk about our neighboring country called Singapore, the island down there. When the first lockdown was done, all of them went to IKEA. IKEA had one of the best sale they had over time. Okay, if you look through the group right there, there's Terence. He bracket himself Singapore as well. You can ask him. He will testify. He also don't know why people go and buy furniture one day before the lockdown. And then when the CB came about, okay, not the word you're thinking about, but circuit breaker. When the circuit breaker came into effect, he showed me a picture of people lining up, you know, for what? Bubble tea. Okay, so for all of you who say that, hey, my customer no money, frankly, I think that's wrong. They are actually lining up for something, but they're lining up not for your product. They're lining up for something else. So I know there are some chefs that are cooking at home. They say, wow, this patty are very good, very nice. Okay, who wants to buy this patty? And then after that order, they make money. And you know what? Normally, if I go to the chef's restaurant, he cook for me, you know. And now I pay the same price. I have to cook myself some more. And it tastes like shit. So why would, and you know what? People will still buy. They say, wow, you see, Munix, my burger so awesome, made by a chef. Then you show on Instagram and all that. Yes, people still have money. So it's just that they are spending it in weird places. And the reason is very simple. Because they look at your product offering and they see it as a luxury. Luxury. Like I see Rajiv over here. Rajiv, you're a coach as well. So a lot of time business owners will say that, Rajiv, having a coach is like a luxury thing, but now business is bad, can cut fee or not, or can we continue sometime later? So because it's a luxury, but how do you shift it to a necessity? So some business coaches immediately shifted and they say that, yes, now it's in the crisis mode. Mr. Client or Juan, for example. Juan, have you gone through any crisis before or not? No, I have. I have the framework and all that. And you know what? Suddenly that business coach becomes a necessity. The client Juan would say that, oh, I think I better not fire him, man, because I've never been to a financial crisis, but this guy has. Let me follow him. Because in times of crisis, anyone that have a brief idea of a plan is better than no plan. If all of you, there's about 156 of you here today, suddenly we get dropped into a middle of a desert. You look left, look right, up, down, everywhere it's desert. And if let's say Robert just stand up and say, hey, I think we should go this direction because I see the sun, I think we can go this direction. The rest of you, you were like, okay, Robert, obviously you have a plan, I'll just follow you. Even though Robert brought all of you 3,000 miles to nowhere, you're like, then Robert said, oh, I think it should be here. Let's just follow again. You know where you got this from? If you look into history, look for this word called legionnaires. Legionnaires are those people who go to weird places and hunt for treasure. And sometimes they will die on their hunt. And yet they can tell the people, hey guys, I'm sorry I brought you along for the last 3 years, but you can invest another 3 months with me. I think we're going to strike gold. And you know what? All those people, they could be hating him. But at that point of moment, that legionnaire have a plan. And one plan is better than no plan. So they follow along. So that's how you can move from luxury to necessity. So the shift you need to make is that instead of making it resistant, how do you make it into results? So instead of showing something that can actually create resistance, how can you show results to your client? Okay, let me give you an example. I think someone anecdoted on my slides again. Okay, that's very funny. Okay, so look at the Cincinnati Zoo. So obviously the zoo, they cannot open, everything's bad and stuff like this. But the zoo also know, okay, who usually go to the zoo? The kids, right? So kids will go, parents will go. And then because the zoo is closed and all the kids are being locked down with the parents, like what I mentioned earlier, sometimes the kids are usually very cute. And then during lockdown, they become not uncute anymore. So what the Cincinnati Zoo decided to do is that the zookeepers will go around at 3 o'clock every day. They're going to do a Facebook Live. This is the koala bear, and then they'll play with the koala bear. And tomorrow, if you tune in again, we're going to show you how we can swim with the penguins. They have been doing this for almost a month. They've been doing this for almost a month. Why? Because the parents love it. You know why? The parents actually say, hey, you know what? I'll support you. They are even giving donation to the zoo to keep the zoo alive. Why? Because the zoo managed to give them back 1 hour of their day, the sanity. It's that for 1 hour between 3 to 4 o'clock, I can finally take a nap without my kid coming, mommy, mommy, daddy, daddy. And because of this, they got 3,000 over shares. And not just that, they recently just raised funds as well because they've suddenly moved on luxury to necessity. And they show results. The result is that kids are glued onto to the Facebook Live for 1 hour so that the parents can sleep. But sometimes the parents will join in as well, basically to see National Geographic on another level. And here's another thing. So very proud of this client of ours, EJ. So swimming pool. Obviously, with the lockdown, swimming school, you are not supposed to open. So they first posted this. The first lockdown was until 31st of March, right? So they say the pool is closed because you're not supposed to swim. But here's the problem. Because they are training a lot of competitive swimmers, those who basically join competitions and all that. Those of you who swim, you will know. If you don't go to swimming at least once a week, your timing will lari already. Your time will off. And the years you have put in to become a gold medalist, suddenly will be like, ayo, how I cannot swim. So they created this online program where you can swim without a pool. First in the world, like revolutionary, never, you can tell people, swim without a pool, they never even hit. And when he came to me for copywriting help, I said, what other copywriting help? You need swimming without a pool. It's like an epic copywriting. I can't even improve it anymore. Because the moment you say swimming without pool, most people, really I can. You have, because the purpose of copywriting is actually quite simple. You just want to steal 2 seconds of a person's attention. Enough. If you can steal 2 seconds of a person's attention by saying something like this, the first thing they said last time was, before the lockdown was, learn how to swim in 12 hours. People like, 12 hours I can learn how to swim? 2 seconds stole. So now they cannot say that because they cannot go to the pool anymore, right? So now it's swim without a pool. And immediately the clients sign up because those who realize that, hey, if I can still continue my practice at home without the pool, at least my time won't lari so much. I can still stay fit. And they also launched this program again for the kids because EJ realized that a lot of parents, the kids are spending too much time on their devices and not playing games, not really doing good stuff. Now, parents are subscribing to his service so that every day they can actually learn swim science without using a pool. So those kids who fear water, phobia, nothing to phobia anymore, man. Now there's actually no water. And the best part, how to learn how to swim without drowning. How can you drown when you have no water? So those aunties and all that is like, I cannot swim, but now I got a chance. Let me go and learn swimming all over again. And guess what? It works. And this is a proud Malaysian product. Just go to swimin12.com. Please go and support them. So all your friends who say I cannot swim, at the moment I jump in the water, sure sink like the Titanic one. Okay, EJ got a solution for you. You can basically do it without even a pool. Not even your bathtub. You can actually do it on the floor. It's just as amazing as that. Again, what EJ has proven is that how do you shift from luxury to necessity? How do you move resistance? Because what a lot of swim schools were doing is that, hey, Daniel, you know what? You always go to swimming and all that, right? Hey, you know what? You pay your membership upfront. You pay your membership upfront and then I give you discount and stuff like this. That is resistance. But when you show them result, if I go to Daniel and say that, hey, Daniel, you are a swimmer. Every week minimum you swim 2 times. Now you cannot swim. What if there's a way for you to basically do this exercise at home and the result is actually the same? Yeah, so immediately Daniel will look at the result rather than the resistance. So the key question over here is, what results can I show to my most profitable markets that will make my offerings a no-brainer? People no need to think. The moment you offer that, it's like, oh yeah, if you can take my kids out of my hands for 2 hours, oh yo, how much money also I can give you already. So we help a friend as well, a client, Derek, running stationery shop. So obviously stationery shop, you cannot operate, right? So what he did is that he created webinars to invite art teachers to entertain the parents and the kids, because the parents are pulling their hair off already. Are you every day my kid every day wake up just play Minecraft. How I wish if they can do something else. So what Derek did is that find the art teacher to teach, but obviously you need the stationery and the paper and all that, right? So he shipped it to the parents. So now the parents got 2 hours of non-screen time. Together they can do drawing. So it's a bonding time as well. Again, luxury, move it to necessity. Okay, so we have covered the last part. We have covered the last part of the framework. Okay, what is something that was amazing? Like it could be EJ's story. It could be the story of the Cincinnati Zoo. Anything that you realize was a POW that you like, hey man, I can actually apply this into my business as well. Yeah, turning luxury into necessity. Yes, Jewel, you got good point. Yes, the Cincinnati Zoo one was genius. You know what the Malaysian Zoo was doing at that time? Asking for donation. Oh, our penguin is dying. Our this is dying. Look, we have technology. Every time, whenever the business is bad, they always default, we must ask money, we must ask for donation. Not entirely true. You must give value first. But do check out the Cincinnati Zoo, because they just, I just saw it yesterday. They were doing a fundraising. And you know why? The fundraising was successful because they have been adding value to the parents every day. And the parents say, hey, you don't close down your zoo, I will support you. So when I was in Sudan, there was actually an interesting, I'm not sure whether I should share this, but just keep it within over here. So in Sudan, those who cannot afford tobacco, they will actually put a little bit of tobacco strip, they put it under your lips. So they will like chew on it. Some Malaysians in Kampong, because I'm from Kelantan, so some of them, they do that as well. So they basically have this brand that they support. This brand is already very cheap, but here's the interesting thing. When you know money that time, you can go to their branch and you can get the tobacco for free. Here's the thing. You can actually go to their branch and you just say that you know money, they'll give you 1 day supply so they can put it, and then after you feel happy and all that. So I asked some of my clients when I was in Sudan, I say, I mean, don't mean to be insensitive or what, but since they are giving for free, right? Why not you're just going to queue up every day? When he looked at me and he's like, wow, why would you do that? And I'm like, yeah, because it's free. You don't have to pay. Why would you have to pay when you can get it for free? Then what he said literally made me super ashamed to be a Malaysian. He said that, because no manners, ma. And I'm like, what? Because when you got money, you should be able to support them, because I don't want the business to fail. I want the business to survive and thrive. So anytime when I can afford, I will pay. When I cannot afford, they will take care of me. And I'm like, wow, if you were to do that in Malaysia, I don't know whether Malaysians would think like that. Okay, I don't know about you. I could be wrong, but but if, yeah, some people said no, shattered hope already, right? Yeah, it's a scary thing, but this was, and the way they look at me, I'm like, I wish there was a cave for me to go into. You're like, don't you guys do that in Malaysia? And I'm like, well, in Malaysia, we don't have stuff like this. If any tobacco company decided to give free cigarettes every day with no need lockdown anything, within a week, the business will shut up already, will close already. But the fact that they care so much about their business that they actually say that when I got money, I will pay. When no money at time, they take care of me. That was like, wow. So I can't remember the name of the company right now, but it's the biggest in Sudan if you just search it over there. But their reply from a customer point of view, if you're doing a validation market validation, that was single-handedly the best testimonial I've ever heard. So yes, how do you turn your product or your service into a necessity? Yeah, over here. So right now we have actually covered, if you look at your graph, the 4 key questions you already have. And then I've already highlighted the circle areas as well. What are the areas of focus? So anytime where you want to launch a marketing plan. Anytime you want to write an article, you want to shoot a video, anything, the moment it's done, the planning, you take out this chart and you ask the 4 questions. You ask the 4 questions and you check out the circle. Is this a strategic recommendation? Is this timely? Is this will this make me a trusted advisor? Are these tactics? Is this a necessity? And can I give my clients results? Can I showcase the results to my clients? So these are the 3 areas you need to focus on during times of crisis. So that's the crisis copywriting framework. So some of you realize, so it's the reason why I created a framework is also because it's easier to get to guide my clients and to guide you as well. Because sometimes you will think that, hey, I don't know whether this copywriting is good or not. You just take out this chart and the framework will always make it easy for you to make decisions. Because sometimes as a business owner, it's very hard for you to make a decision. This will help you make a decision. So one thing I learned from my mom, a teacher all her life. So a teacher, I guess one part of me is also a teacher as well. She always tell me this, so she's a science teacher. So start Form 1, Form 2, and Form 3. So whenever she start at Form 1, she will basically tell everyone basically in the class, I say, okay, my name is Puan Lim, and at the end of 3 years, I only want one thing. You must be either as good as me in science, or you must be better than me. So usually when she say that, I will cringe. So I usually tell my mom, I say, hey, ma, like, a bit unrealistic, right? Like, first you're the teacher, and then you spend so many years to accumulate the knowledge, and you expect all of us to get it within 3 years. Quite impossible, right? Be realistic also lah. So what my mom always tell me was this. She said that, well, the reason I spent so many years going through that experience, and if I cannot shortcut it for you, if I cannot shortcut it for the students, I would have been a bad teacher. So that was like the aha moment for me, because what she said is that you must enable your students to not only be as good as you, but must be better. So one thing she always tell me is that don't complicate stuff, make it as simple as possible. So this triangle, everybody can draw. And chances are, like Alex, Rajiv, you're listening in, you take this little triangle over here, you can go to your team. Hey guys, okay, whenever you create a marketing piece, just follow this triangle, make sure these 3 things are in check. So this is the crisis copywriting framework. So a lot of you will be asking, hey Maverick, so after this with the framework, what's next? So some of you may enjoy the framework as well. So if you look at it, the journey for the next few months, I've already solved your pain. Immediately now you got this little framework to solve your pain. But what about the next 3 months? So next 3 months, if you ask me what is something that you really need, it's actually momentum. So remember when you start the year, when you have the hope, you have the momentum, right? You're like the train, I'm going non-stop. Nothing can stop me this year. And then when COVID-19 happened, boom, the whole train stopped already. So now you want to regain back the momentum. So how do you do it mid-year, which is very important, and using copywriting as well. So if you look at momentum, right, how momentum is created, if you look at science, one is the thing have to have speed. The second, it has to have inertia. That's actually the results that we are looking at. So when you combine those two together, you actually get momentum. So if you just do it with a simple science, okay, I'm a geek because my mom is a science teacher, right? So just bear with me. So results times speed, you basically get momentum. That's simple. But then how do you get the fastest result in the shortest time? So you can learn. Like you have already invested time, 90 minutes with me. You want to learn. So you get a portion are better than nothing. You get a bit of momentum. And the other way that I always credit my success to is, I mentioned earlier with Dave Rogers or with Dato James, is coaching, because learning always prepares you for the future. Coaching addresses your issues right now. So it's like, what problems you have right now, Munez? Let's fix it right now. And the last part is that if you notice those successful people, all the successful people that you have, chances are they have a mentor in their life, mentoring. So if you want to gain the momentum the fastest, you look at all the successful people. Success always leaves a trail. That's what my master always told me. You look at what the successful people do, chances are they got a mentor, they got a coach, and they're always learning one, to be frank. It's just that how many % of them are focusing on learning versus coaching versus mentoring. So I want to close your loop as well, because some of you like, hey Maverick, what's the last part? Because you never tell me, then after that I cannot sleep tonight. Okay, so after psychology is strategy, creativity, and technology. These are the 4 areas to focus on. The last part is actually community. You need to learn in a community, like all of you coming together to share the pearls of wisdom, the POW. That is also learning together as well. So if you want to ask me what's another way to create momentum, is if you multiply this all together. You take psychology, multiply by strategy, with creativity, with technology, with community, you actually have marketing momentum. So that's something that you want to create. If your sales is going down, all you need right now is to do the right thing to push yourself back to the right path again. So like when I started earlier, I did mention that if you need more help, so there are certain areas that you can go to. So one simple way is that we can attend 2 days, 2.5 hour live session with me. So the price is $199. It's just a live training like this. But if you have loved the framework so far, I'll be working with more frameworks for you. Why framework? The idea is that you can duplicate the success. If I don't give you a framework, it's very hard for you to replicate the success later. Human beings are very good at filling up blanks because the public school system makes sure we are very good at filling up blanks. So we're going through a lot of framework, which I'll show you. Then some of you, you can go here to sign up if you want. I'll give you the dates later. Some of you will want the accelerated one. So you basically want to join a group coaching. And some of you may realize that, hey, Maverick, I cannot remember all the things you say. So you have access to all the recording, not just the live training, but you also get the coaching as well. And then some of you want to take it to the next level. So this one, because of limited time, I cannot do a lot. So this extra feature over here is that I work with you 90 minutes, one-on-one on strategy mentoring for the next 3, 6, and 9 months. During this time for crisis, how can I apply all the copywriting framework that I know onto your existing business? But this one, I only have 8 spots. Because of the time that I have, I can only take 8 spots. And because I want to work with you on this, 90 minutes is actually a lot of time commitment as well. So here's the 3 links if you want to sign up. But before you do, some of you will actually ask, so what's actually covered in the live training? So if you have liked the frameworks, I'm going to give you a lot more. So one is, how do you find profits within your existing pond? So whatever warm market that you have, you actually have untapped resources. So how do you identify it? One. And then the second part is that how do you pick your most profitable one? After you realize that, wow, actually there's a lot of fish I can hunt, but which is the one that can give you the fastest result? Because right now, I need to solve your pain and your fear. Money 12 months later doesn't mean anything to you. You want money, even though small amount, but now within next week, you can get money, that kind. And then after that, how do you find your fish? So now do you know your fish already? How can I go to social media and start looking for them? And how do you bait your fish? How do you use the copywriting magic to basically understand their pain and frustrations so that you can inject it into your marketing message and become more attractive? And then how do you put the emotions inside your message? If you notice the copywriting that brought you into this webinar, if you look back, there were a lot of emotional words inside. So you can actually have a filter of how I basically create it. And then how do you articulate your highlights? Your product has tremendous benefits, but sometimes you don't know how to articulate it. So this is just 6. There probably will be more. 6 frameworks that you will go through together with me, and we'll be working together on this as well. Especially those of you who come for the coaching, you must complete this before we go on the coaching session. So what are the dates? The live training will be next Wednesday and Thursday, so 8 o'clock to 10:30 after the puasa, buka puasa and all that. And then the group coaching will be 10:30 to 11:30. Basically, it's an Ask Me Anything session. You submit your homework, how to improve it and stuff like this. I will address it during the group coaching. And for the 8 of you who are coming for the private session, we will give you a Zoom link for it. So, yeah, that's basically it. So if you have any questions, you can put it here. I'm actually going through the questions as well. So this is basically the difference. If you think that the essential 199 is good enough, come and learn the framework and you can apply it yourself. If you feel that you need feedback, you want faster feedback, then the 399 one is for you. But if you feel that, hey, no, Maverick, can you just come into my office? Okay, I can't come to your office. I wish I can, but I can't. We just go on the Zoom call and you show me what are your plans in the next 3 to 6 and 12 months so that I can make the tweaks for you, so that at least you can go back to your path of momentum. So you can just go to the link over there. And right now, I want to be respectful of the time. There's actually 10 minutes left as well. So yes, I will take on any questions that you have. And how do you sign up is actually quite simple. So if you go to any of the links over there, you will see something like this. All you need to do is just fill up, your details, fill up your credit card. It could be a debit card as well. And then just click pay. So this one is the 999 package. This one is the 399 one. And this one is the 199 one. So make a decision on this, which one is the one that's best suited for you, but think of it in the areas of momentum. What can help you create the fastest momentum, because that's what you need to get out of the downward spiral that you're going so that you can go up. And then you can start making sales. A lot of you talking about sales just now. Here it is. Okay, let me just put the link over here. If you are, yeah, so that's where you can go. Awesome. If you want to look for any other payment options, you can message Candy as well. Let's say you want to do, hey, can we do bank transfer and stuff like this? Yes, you can message Candy and that's it.
Maverick, can you move your screen up a bit? There's a white bar on top so that it blocks the bottom.
Oh, there's a screen. Wait, that's odd.
Yeah, so I think some of the sections this time they couldn't see the last bar, the bottom bar.
Can you see it now?
There's still a white space on the top, so yeah.
Okay, let me just put it like this. Is it better?
I think the earlier one's better. Let's revert.
Sorry, this one?
Go back to the full screen just now. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Some weird technical issues today.
Yeah.
Okay, so Candy, are there questions that are... for those of you who want to see the poll results, let me just put it over here. Yeah, so majority of you pick low or no sales. So yes, in the copywriting, crisis copywriting framework, that's one area that we work on, especially if you look at the triangle, convert, that's how you basically get sales. Hi, Selena. I wanted to check with you on like, how does it work? No, the 90 minutes is basically once you've completed the core sessions and the group coaching, I will work with you on then you work out your marketing plan. And then that's where in the 90 minutes, we'll hash it out. Yeah. Can't see the poll results. Okay, I'll just leave it over here. Sorry about that. I will take a screenshot of the poll result. Awesome. Thanks, Alex, for sharing, for joining us. Is the framework applicable to any industry and business? Yes, B2C, B2B, almost every industry we have actually done before as well. So yes, so it's just as long as you are selling to a human that has emotions, you can sell, which means the framework will actually apply. Yes, Josh, this is what you're looking for. Recording, Samita, recording of the sessions, the live training, you actually have the recording of it, and the 90-minute group coaching, I trust you all don't share it outside. Whatever that we discuss in the group coaching will be shared to you as well, the recording. Thanks, Noel, for joining. Yes, Melvin, I will send you the screenshot later. Can you just take note that we can? Yeah, you know what? We'll send to everyone that whole crisis copywriting framework. Awesome. Jonah, hey, hi, Jonah, has been a while. Yes, it's only for one time because once the strategy is mapped out, technically you won't need me anymore because once it's already mapped out, you already know what you're supposed to do moving forward. Okay, thanks, Jewel, for the enlightening. How about the group coaching? Oh, wait. Awesome. Selena, the group coaching, I don't understand your question. Can you put it in a proper sentence? If you are wondering whether the group coaching will be recorded, yes. Will there be any other talks by you after the MCO? Yes, because after this, there will be recovery, market recovery. But this framework that I just taught you and whatever we will cover in the crisis copywriting framework, you can use it when times are good. You can use it when times are bad. Okay, so here's a recommendation for you. Any framework that can work when the market is bad, chances are it will work when the market is good. But some methods will only work when the market is good. It will not work when the market is bad. Yes.
Guys, I think it'd be easier if you unmute yourself and ask Mav the questions instead of him scrolling through.
Reading, yes.
Yeah, just unmute yourselves and have a chat.
If you've got a question, you can just pop it in.
Yeah, if you need clarifications on anything, just unmute yourself and speak it up. So instead of him having to scroll, because a lot of people are texting thank yous.
Okay, so Khadija asked, does this framework only work for digital products and like webinars? Would it work for physical products? Yes. My Burger Lab obviously is a very physical product. You wouldn't want to eat the digital burger. So it has nothing, if you realize it has nothing to do with the product. Okay, having said that, if your product have restrictions, to be sent out. We need to work around that. That one is a business model issue, but it doesn't change the fact that you can get your customers to buy. So sometimes your customers will buy and they'll say that, hey, you know what, you can deliver to me later and stuff like that. So yes, physical products, it will definitely work. Can we upgrade to group coaching later? That will be a question that Candy will basically answer, but probably can, just not at this price. How long will the recording, how long will the recording recorded? The entire session, Alea. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, how long will it be us to receive it?
Okay. You can basically have access to it. We have access to it all the time. It's almost like you're buying the course. You have access to it all the time. So you can refer to it in the next COVID-81 financial crisis again. Yes, thanks, David. Yeah. So Clinton is asking, is this very relevant to the insurance industry? Very. So when I was working with my client GE, the moment the lockdown happened, they just need to chat with their customers and say, hey, Mr. Lim, how are you? You know what? They say, hey, you know what? With all this COVID thing, you all got cover now. If you cover, I'll upgrade my premium. So a lot of the agents who were reaching out, some of you I know, you actually upgraded your premium in the last 1 to 2 months as well. So yes, insurance, definitely. Sign up. Thanks, Evelyn. Thanks for your support. Can I invite you, Jeff? We will have a talk about it. Definitely can. Okay, Mark, I'll be very honest. So Mark's question is, has the framework been applied to construction industry? Yes. In the past, because Dato' James, if you know him personally, one of his business is the construction business as well. So yes, but during this time, there are limitations around the construction business. I can make your product sexy, but the question is that, are you able to fulfill it? So that one, again, is a business model question. So, but if you're asking me, can you use this framework later, once the lockdown is lifted? The answer is yes. After the lockdown is lifted, those of you who are familiar, you actually know that the economic crisis, another recession is actually coming. Yes, I think I'm repeating. Okay. Can this be applied to hearing aid industry or premium products? Yes. Actually, if you tap on the emotions, guys, have you actually bought something out of guilt towards someone before? It's like, oh, I didn't treat my mom very well. I think I better buy one trip for her. Send her to, not send her to Japan, go to Japan together with her. Oh, I think I haven't been treating my kids very well. Let me just buy a Nintendo Switch Pro. Send it to my house, by the way. Send a Nintendo Switch, by the way. Guilt is one of the most powerful emotions that you can actually tap on. And all kids always feel that sometimes they're not giving enough back to their parents because of how the parents have treated them. So Elia, yes, for sure, hearing aid. Because the moment the parents cannot hear the sweet voice of the grandchildren, they will start getting very depressed. And the depression pills are definitely going to be more expensive because it's long-term. Evelyn, I will get in touch with you, but usually one person just join about, because if you want to teach the session to your marketing staff, you can as well. For the rest of you, if you don't want to type it in, you can actually ask the questions as well. I already gone all the way down. I'm just going back up again.
Maverick, Selena here.
Hi, Selena.
I just want to check whether these 2.5 hours, would it be an overlapping lesson like what we have attended with Great Eastern Boss?
Oh, Boss, no. Boss, I didn't cover this. This is something different.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Right. Some of the parts, the framework, you will realize finding your most profitable market is the similar, but the copywriting method, not. Because I didn't include copywriting in the Boss. It's a bit more advanced topic. Yes. Oh, so that was a question that you're asking. So does that answer your question, Selena? Yes, no? Okay, cool.
Yeah, you did answer my question. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks, Selena. Take care. Okay, anyone to switch on the mic, you can ask questions. I'll still be here. Whether it will work for industry, you just let me know what industry you're in. I'll tell you yes or no, just like how I've been communicating with you.
Hi, Maverick.
Hey,
Mark
hi.
here. I was the one that asked the question on the construction industry.
Oh, yes, Mark. Hi.
Just a bit skeptical in a sense because within the construction industry, we are actually in a very specific niche.
Correct.
And I've spoken to one or two sales business people before, and they don't seem to be able to think, or they don't think that our niche is actually how would I say, helpable because
sorry?
it's quite niche. They feel that our area of the construction is quite niche, so they feel that a lot of these frameworks and things like that, or what they were offering, would not be suitable. So that's why I asked this question. So I don't know whether this is the right forum, or if I can just write to you maybe.
Sure.
But
a quick, simple answer that I can give you is that, are you still selling to a person?
Yes, of course we are still selling to a person.
So as long as you're still selling to a person and you know who the person is, the answer is yes, you can still use copywriting for that. The moment when copywriters like me will be obsolete is where we start selling to robots, because I don't know how to basically sell copywriting for robots. So yes, as tough as the industry is, actually each of them have emotions. If you know how to tap into it using the wordings and all that, the answer is yes, you can still change their mind. Even if they don't want to buy, at least in a way you have already attracted their attention, or maybe even generated the leads during that time.
But so for us, it's quite difficult because the decision maker is not just one person, and it may involve 2 to 3 different parties.
Correct.
So
it still goes back to the question, Mark. Are they humans? So if even the board of directors, as long as you can make them see, or you show the result. Remember, we talk about the framework. Now the reason why they are showing resistance is because your product or service to them is a luxury. Just think about it. How can you make it into a necessity for them?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks.
Awesome. Okay. Yes. Okay. Anyone with questions? All very shy with their voice.
All rather look at you the last 1 minute.
Yeah, precious, right? Yes, Jonah, how are you, bro?
Yeah, very good. It's been like how many years since I last saw you? Damn.
Jonah was in my first Kickstart.
Yeah, man, those were the days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any question you have, bro?
Just to let you know, quick summary of what I've been doing. In the past few years, I've been running a hotel. Been quite successful at that. And currently in this COVID period and all, of course, hotel industry hurt very badly and all.
Yes.
So I'm actually thinking of going into consultancy, hospitality consultancy, and I just only started this journey, thinking of imparting my knowledge to people who want to start off their own Airbnb or hotel business.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how can this actually, or this group coaching actually help me in this whole journey of mine?
Oh, sure. So yours, in a way, is quite a sensitive industry because of tourism and all that. But as long as you know who your target market is, you still can make it, as long as you make it still timely, as long as whatever that you're offering is relevant. So we have one, Noelle, she's actually not on today, but she's actually part of one of our group coaching as well. So hers is actually OTA. She's actually in the travel industry. So she's actually running webinars right now to generate leads, and basically talking to people from different places. How are they actually handling the lockdown? So different places, and she'll be doing dream boards, like for example, where do you want to go after the lockdown is lifted and stuff like this. So you still have to engage people in something that's relevant, because a lot of people wish they can travel and they can't. So how do you tap onto that emotion? Yeah. So I hope that answers. Yeah. So there has to be different strategies, because you can't get people to come to your hotel. That's for sure. Airbnb may or may not be relevant because now people are not traveling. But if you look at the existing clients that you have, or the existing clients that your clients have, what is something that you can offer them? Because they may not want to buy tourism packages from you, but is there something else? They are still human beings. What is something that you can offer them, and use the same copywriting framework to make it enticing for them? Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Thanks, Jonah. Yep. Awesome. Okay, cool. I'm still here, so timer is up. But if you have any questions, obviously you guys are still hanging around. So yes,
Mav,
you got a question. Yes,
Melinda had a question in the group. She asked,
Melinda.
how about if the industry is a necessity, which is the essential products like food, but Malaysian consumers are looking for the cheapest deals?
Okay. The thing is, Melinda, you are not, in a way, because I need to understand your product more, but usually in this case, you are not showing the value. If you're not showing the value of your product, people will always compete based on price. Look at Starbucks coffee bean, for example. Frankly, Starbucks, okay, I'm sorry if anyone from Starbucks are here, but you guys don't make the best coffee. There are a lot of cafes out there that make better coffee than you. But truth be told, why is their beans being sold at a higher price compared to anybody else? If you go to your friend, here's the Starbucks coffee and here is some coffee from a cafe. They will always perceive the value from the Starbucks coffee is actually higher. Why? Branding. Because Starbucks is not in the coffee business. They are in the experience business. So Melinda, for you, is how do you use the copywriting framework that we're going to cover in the next 2 days to basically project that experience to the customer so that they don't mind paying more because they know they're getting premium. The moment you don't stand out, the moment your copywriting is the same as everybody else, by default, human being will just compare based on price. Okay, so that's a quick one for you. But necessity, yes, it doesn't mean you have to sell cheap. You can actually sell higher price. We have actually worked with clients to repackage their product as well during the MCO. They actually charge more now than during their normal times. Yeah. Robert, wow, you mentioned something. Hey, Jonah, you should check out what Robert mentioned on the hospitality consulting. Handling disgruntled clients. Good. Okay, anyone want to, we are still here. You want to switch on the mic, you can. You want to ask a question, any questions that you have. Do you offer more intense copywriting course for copywriters or designers? This is as intense as you get. I mean, you can watch all the recording in 2 hours with my voice fast forwarded, but that's as intense as you get because the basic stuff that you need to survive for your next few years as a copywriter or designer or as a freelancer, you can find it in the framework. And yes, if before you ask, can you use the framework with your clients? Yes, you can as a copywriter. So we have freelancers joining here as well. Awesome.
Okay, guys, last 3 questions before we wrap up.
Thank you. Oh yes, Josh, it's not just for crisis, like what I mentioned earlier. If you master these fundamentals well, when times are good, you will do even better. When times are bad, you can fall back to this. So when it comes to business strategies, a good way to test is that when times are bad, will it work or not? So whatever you're doing right now that works when times are peaceful, it will work even better. That's the truth. Of course, during times when times are good, there's other more tools that you can use. But during times of crisis, you have to fall back to these few sets that you need to use. Yeah. So the answer is yes, guerrilla marketing will work even when the market is good or bad. Hey, thanks, Terence. Thanks for joining. What if not very good in English? Okay, if you look at the templates that I showed you just now, a lot of them is fill in the blanks. So if you know how to fill in the blanks with the proper words, and I'll give you the cheat sheets as well. So I'll give you my cheat sheets when I use to do my copywriting so you can fill it up on your own. Thanks, Josh. Jeff Chia, how do you get so good in what you're doing? 17 years will bring you somewhere. Yes, but in the areas of copywriting, it's because I've been doing marketing for the last 17 years. So after, like I said, I used to do newspaper ads, I used to do facts. I realized the words that I used last time and the words that I use now, more or less is the same. The examples will be different, but last time I can talk about cassette tapes and MD. Now I think most of you have never seen a cassette tape before, but now you all heard about USB drives and stuff like this. So the truth is that as long as you understand the psychology, the emotions, it will still work. Why your parents buy a LP last time is the same reason why you are subscribing to, I don't know, Spotify right now. You want to enjoy music at a high quality at the fingertips. Yeah. So if you understand that, Steve Jobs, when they launched the first iPod, 2,000 songs in the back of your pocket. One of the best copywriting story I've ever heard, because immediately you can realize that, wow, there's a 2,000 source I can carry in my pocket. Does it still work today? Yes. If you tell it to your grandparents at that time, will it work? Yes. So it's actually appealing to the emotions.
Last
yes,
question.
Kuvan. Sorry, Fanny?
Last question, yeah?
Yes,
Then we
last
can wrap
question.
up. Yeah.
Will this include cheat sheets for social media? Yes, Jonah. Of course, different platforms, some you'll be limited, like Twitter, it has to be a bit shorter, and Instagram it has to be a bit more visuals and all that. But as long as the main message is conveyed to the target, so we are talking about the ponds. The fish in different ponds, they will behave differently. So the idea, the key message here is that how do you tap on to their emotions when they are in different environments, like for example, Instagram to Twitter or LinkedIn. Yeah, cool, Jonah. Yes. Okay, hey, thanks guys for joining us. Sorry I took up extra time as well. I did, right? Yes, I did. Extra 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes. Share your pulse with your teammates. Share on social media as well what you covered over here. And please implement this. The next time when you launch, okay, I will remember your faces. So I will look at the marketing message that you create. If you make the fatal mistake of the triangle, I will hunt you down. I know, just kidding. Yes, Pao, correct. But always use that framework as a reference and as a cheat sheet for you. The idea, we make it so simple is so that it's easier for you to replicate the process you have just done. Okay. Yeah, we'll be.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so very much. Be
Thanks,
safe.
Apple.
Selamat berpuasa.
Thanks, YY. Bye, Irene. Good night. Hi, Kiping. Bye, Joe. Thank you. Bye, Geraldine. Bye, Josh. Bye, Derek. We should catch up, man. Bye, Weiling. Duncan, thanks for your support. Bye, Erica. Bye, Noshila. Thanks for spending. I hope that they got a lot of actionable insights for you. Hi, Kelvin. Hey, Money. As usual, thanks for supporting. Noshila, good night.
Good night, Money. See you. Bye, Kelvin. Good night.
Yes, you're giving me hope. Yes, thank you. My mom will be proud. Hey, hi, Leslie. Thanks, Ui.